Picture this. You roll out of bed tomorrow morning, and something feels wrong. Dead silence. Your alarm didn't go off. Your phone screen is black as coal. You flip the light switch. Nothing. Try to start your car. Not even a click. Step outside, and it's like someone hit the mute button on civilization itself. You've just experienced an electromagnetic pulse, an EMP, and congratulations, you're now living in a world where 99% of everything you depend on just became expensive paperweights. Most folks would be completely lost. But not you. Because today, we're diving into the 10 items that laugh in the face of an EMP and keep working when the entire modern world goes dark. And trust me, having these could mean the difference between thriving and barely surviving when chaos hits. Before we jump in, let's get one thing straight. EMPs aren't Hollywood fiction. They're terrifyingly real. Whether it's a high-altitude nuclear blast or a massive solar storm like the one scientists keep warning us about, one electromagnetic surge can turn our high-tech world into a Stone Age nightmare in milliseconds. The scariest part? Our government knows it's coming. Reports have been written, hearings have been held, warnings have been issued, yet here we are, completely exposed and utterly unprepared. So what happens when the inevitable hits? Let's find out. 1. Good old-fashioned hand tools. When the power dies, so does every electric drill, saw, and gadget you own. But you know what keeps working? That dusty hammer in your garage? That rusty wrench set? The manual saw your grandfather swore by. Here's a reality bomb. Recent surveys show that over half of Americans under 45 have never touched a manual saw or wrench in their entire lives. We've become so dependent on power tools that we've forgotten how to fix anything with our bare hands. Imagine this. 3 days after the blackout, a water pipe bursts in your basement. Water's flooding in fast. No plumbers are coming. They can't even start their trucks. YouTube is gone forever. Your fancy electric tools are dead. What's your move? The person with a toolbox full of manual gear becomes the neighborhood hero. The person without one? They're just another victim waiting for rescue that's never coming. Think about essential repairs. Fixing leaks, boarding broken windows, splitting firewood for heat, or reinforcing doors for security. Manual tools handle it all. A good hammer, sharp handsaw, solid wrench set, crowbar, and screwdrivers become survival gold. We've gotten lazy with buttons and batteries, but when everything electronic goes silent, it's the simple, heavy, no battery required tools that keep you alive. Stock up now. Learn to use them while you can still look up tutorials. Practice basic repairs using only manual tools. Are you ready to go hands-on when the lights go out? 2. Your personal EMP shield, the Faraday cage. Here's something that'll blow your mind. You can protect electronics from an EMP using stuff from your garage. It's called a Faraday cage, and it's as simple as a metal trash can with a tight lid. The science is straightforward. Electromagnetic pulses fry circuits by creating massive electrical surges. A Faraday cage blocks those surges by creating a conductive shell around your electronics. The pulse hits the metal exterior and flows around your devices instead of through them. Department of Homeland Security officially recognizes this as viable EMP protection. You don't need military-grade equipment, just a galvanized steel trash can, cardboard lining to prevent direct contact, and aluminum tape to seal the lid. $20 gets you protection that costs thousands from specialty companies. What should you protect? Think communication first. A hand crank radio could be your lifeline to emergency broadcasts. Walkie-talkies for family coordination. Maybe a small solar charger or basic LED flashlights? Don't go crazy trying to protect everything. Focus on items that give you communication, navigation, or charging capability. A simple GPS unit, emergency weather radio, or basic tablet loaded with survival guides could be invaluable. Here's what most people miss. Old cookie tins, ammo boxes, even metal filing cabinets can work as Faraday cages with proper sealing. We throw away potential survival gear without realizing it. Test your cage by putting a cell phone inside, sealing it up, and trying to call it. If it doesn't ring, you've built EMP protection. How many of your survival essentials are currently protected? 3. 2 wheels beat 4. When nothing starts. When an EMP hits, modern cars become 4,000-pound lawn ornaments. All those computer chips controlling ignition and fuel injection? Fried instantly. Government EMP reports confirm that vehicles built after the early 1982nd are sitting ducks because of integrated circuits. But your bicycle? Still works perfectly. No circuits, no software, no vulnerabilities, just chain, pedals, and human power. Picture this. Your kid is stranded at school across town when the pulse hits. Phones are dead, roads clogged with abandoned vehicles, as people realize nothing starts. How do you reach them? While everyone else walks or waits for help that isn't coming, you're cruising past the chaos on two wheels. You can cover 15 to 20 miles per hour on a bike. Try matching that on foot with a backpack full of supplies. Census data shows only 12% of Americans regularly use bikes, and even fewer have emergency-ready ones. Get a reliable mountain bike or hybrid that handles rough terrain and carries cargo. Check tires regularly. Keep the chain oiled. Invest in a helmet and repair kit. Consider panniers or a trailer for hauling supplies when moving gear or family members. For advanced preparation, store a simple e-bike in your Faraday cage. Not smart ones with GPS and Bluetooth. Those will fry. Basic e-bikes with minimal electronics could give you serious range advantages. Don't forget security. In a post-EMP world, working transportation becomes incredibly valuable. The person pedaling past miles of dead traffic will look like a genius when everyone else is walking. 4. Fire. Humanity's original power source. When the grid dies, you lose 3 critical survival elements: heat, hot food, and water purification. These aren't conveniences. They're life or death necessities that can kill you within days. Here's the brutal reality. Energy statistics show nearly half of American homes rely entirely on electricity for heat. One winter EMP, and half the country faces hypothermia. Modern gas furnaces won't help either. They need electricity for blowers, ignition systems, and safety controls. A wood-burning stove or basic fire pit changes everything. No gas lines, no electrical connections, no dependency on failing infrastructure. Just combustible material, fallen branches, old furniture, construction scraps, even paper in emergencies. But can you actually build and maintain a fire when your family's survival depends on it? Most Americans have never built fire without matches or lighters. What happens when those run out? Learn friction fire methods now. Bow drills, steel and flint. Practice while you can still watch tutorials. Stock waterproof matches, lighters, fire cubes, dry tinder, and kindling wood. Consider cooking too. When your electric and gas stoves are dead, how do you prepare food? Cast iron cookware, camping gear, or makeshift surfaces become essential. Boiling water for purification requires sustained heat only fire provides reliably. Temperature regulation is psychological as much as physical. A warm fire provides comfort, security, and hope when everything feels hopeless. It's humanity's oldest technology. Master it before modern technology fails you. Don't wait until you're shivering in a freezing house to realize what you should have prepared months ago. 5. Information is everything. Emergency radio. In a blackout, information becomes more valuable than gold. Without knowing what's happening around you, every decision becomes a dangerous guess that could get your family killed. Think about it. How do you know if the EMP was an attack or natural disaster? Are rescue operations coming? Should you evacuate or shelter in place? Are roads safe or controlled by hostile groups? Without information, you're flying blind in a deadly world. Cell towers have backup power for maybe 24 hours. Tops. After that, total communication blackout. But a hand crank radio doesn't care about power grids or cell towers. Turn the handle, and you're connected to emergency broadcasts, weather alerts, and evacuation orders everyone else is missing. Emergency management agencies recommend weather radios that receive hazard alerts covering storms, chemical spills, nuclear incidents, and yes, EMP attacks. Imagine sitting in your home thinking everything's fine while 30 miles away. A nuclear plant issues a silent evacuation order. Without radio, you don't hear it. You stay put in the danger zone. During recent disasters, entire communities stayed informed through local radio, while everyone else sat in darkness guessing. Radio stations often have backup generators and emergency protocols when everything else fails. Many modern emergency radios include solar backup, flashlights, even USB ports to trickle charge phones if they still work. But here's the reality check. Only 13% of Americans say they're very prepared for disasters. That means 87% are unprepared to hear what matters most when it matters most. When the grid goes silent, will you be listening or guessing? Because the difference could mean evacuating in time or missing your only chance to escape. Number: EMP survival. 10 game, changing items that still work when everything dies. 6. Light, your psychological lifeline. We've gotten soft. The average American experiences maybe 6 hours of power outages per year. We're not wired for real darkness anymore. But darkness isn't just inconvenient. It's psychologically devastating. After just a few nights of total blackout, people start breaking down. Not because they can't see, but because light represents safety, control, and hope. Take that away long enough, and minds crack. After major disasters, reports flood in of neighborhoods where residents huddled around candles just to feel sane. Not to read or cook, just to exist in something other than crushing darkness. And that was temporary storms. Imagine a national EMP blackout lasting weeks or months. Emergency management warns that widespread grid-down events could leave millions in darkness, especially rural areas where infrastructure restoration takes longest. Your kids will ask when the lights come back. What do you tell them after 72 hours of pitch black? Here's what shocks people. Candles, oil lamps, and lanterns are completely EMP-proof. No circuits, no batteries, no firmware updates. Just wick, flame, and reliable light when everything else fails. But smart preparation means thinking security too. Your house glowing softly in a pitch-black neighborhood, does that bring safety or make you a target? Use low-profile lanterns, blackout curtains, and keep lights facing inward. Stock long-burning emergency candles that go 10+ hours. Oil lanterns with extra fuel stored safely. And LED lanterns with manual cranks if stored in Faraday cages beforehand. Scientists warn that solar storms strong enough to disrupt power grids hit Earth roughly every 100 years. The last major one was 1921. We're overdue, and today's grid is more fragile than ever. Don't be the person scavenging in darkness. When night falls for good, even a single candle could mean the difference between fear and peace. 7. Water. The 3-day survival clock. You can last weeks without food, but only 3 days without water. When an EMP hits, municipal water systems fail within hours because over 90% of treatment plants rely on electric pumps and digital monitoring. Picture day 4 after the blackout. Taps are bone dry. Water stations offline. Filtration plants down. Your neighbors walk around with empty jugs, knocking on doors, getting desperate. This isn't theoretical. After the 2003 Northeast blackout affecting 50 million people, dozens of towns lost water systems within hours. Could you find clean water if your faucet stopped forever right now? Gravity-fed water filters like quality camping models don't need electricity or pressure systems. Pour dirty water in top. Clean water comes out bottom, removing 99.99% of bacteria, viruses, even heavy metals. They're used in disaster zones worldwide. If you're on a private well, install a manual hand pump now. Some models pull clean water from 200+ feet underground using just leverage and sweat. You'd be shocked how many well owners have no power-free access to their own water. In long-term grid-down events, rivers and lakes become everyone's backup plan. But so do dead animals, sewage runoff, and chemical leaks. The 2021 Texas freeze saw hospital spikes in waterborne illness just days after tap service failed. Don't gamble on boiling rainwater in rusted pots over trash fires. While taps still work, store 1 gallon per person per day for 2 weeks minimum. Get a gravity filter requiring no power. Install non-electric hand pumps before panic hits. Stash water purification tablets as backup. They're cheap, light, and last forever. In a powerless world, food gets you through a week, but water gets you through the fight. Could your family make it to Friday if water shut off right now? 8. Security when the cameras go dark. 7 nights into a total blackout, crime doesn't just increase, it explodes. History proves this. After Hurricane Maria devastated Puerto Rico, looting was rampant, homes broken into, supplies stolen. The difference between safety and vulnerability often came down to whether families could protect themselves and access their protection. Picture this scenario. It's 2 a.m. on the seventh night. No power, no police presence, no help coming. You hear footsteps outside. Soft, slow, deliberate. Someone's testing your door. You reach for your safe to grab a firearm, cash, or flashlight. But when you press the keypad, nothing happens. Screen's dead. No beep, no unlock. Your state-of-the-art electronic safe just became a 200-pound paperweight. This is the reality most people never consider. We buy smart locks, fingerprint safes, keypad vaults for security. But in EMP scenarios, they fail just like everything else. Cybersecurity agencies confirm that unshielded electronic devices, including locking mechanisms, are vulnerable to electromagnetic surges. The good news? Old school still works. Mechanical safes with dial combinations or key locks are immune to power loss. Traditional door locks, padlocks, and anything operating without batteries or Bluetooth might not feel flashy, but when grids collapse, simplicity wins. In long-term blackouts, your home becomes your bunker. If you can't secure what's inside or access your essentials quickly, you're in serious trouble. Ask yourself right now, if power went out without warning, could you access your essentials in under 60 seconds? Or are you trusting electronics that might never wake up again? Don't wait until you're locked out during a blackout. When everything depends on it, mechanical reliability beats digital convenience every time. 9. Harvest the sun. Solar power, done right. The sun doesn't care about EMPs. It'll keep rising every morning even when civilization collapses, making solar power your renewable lifeline in a grid-down world. Imagine 5 days after the EMP hit. Regular flashlight batteries are long dead, candles burning low, radio silent. You're feeling cut off from light, communication, and hope. Then you pull out your solar flashlight, the one you charge by leaving on a windowsill, and suddenly you've got vision, comfort, and connection to the outside world again. Solar flashlights, lanterns, and chargers can be game changers. But here's the critical catch. Like any modern electronics, they contain delicate circuitry that will fry if exposed to the pulse. That's why serious preparedness means storing solar gear in Faraday cages. A simple metal ammo can lined with cardboard shields them perfectly. Your homemade EMP-proof locker isn't fancy, but it works. Having even limited power gives you options regular survivors don't have. Maybe you can run a small radio for emergency broadcasts, charge a rechargeable lantern, or power walkie-talkies for family communication. Some high-efficiency panels can charge phones or small fans. During brutal summer blackouts, that fan feels like a miracle. But remember security. If you're the only home glowing in a pitch-black neighborhood, that could attract desperate people. Use blackout curtains, keep lights pointed inward. Don't advertise your advantages. Solar power doesn't make you invincible. It makes you capable. The difference between having renewable energy and depending entirely on finite supplies could determine whether you survive weeks or months in a powerless world. 10. Wheels that don't need computers. Your modern car has over 50 computer chips controlling everything from ignition to fuel injection. One EMP, and it's done forever. But that beat-up truck from 1979? That carbureted motorcycle from the 72nd? They just became priceless. EMP Commission reports confirm that vehicles built after the early 1982nd are vulnerable because of integrated circuit boards. But vehicles with simple mechanical systems and no onboard computers have much better survival odds. Transportation equals survival in post-EMP scenarios. Think about it. No working cars means roads become ghost towns, gas stations don't function, supply chains break, hospitals become unreachable. You may need to evacuate quickly or reach safety zones, and people who can move are people who survive. The 2021 Colonial Pipeline attack caused gas shortages and panic across the Southeast without an EMP. Imagine nationwide panic with no working vehicles to reach the next town. Emergency agencies repeatedly warn that transportation disruption after large-scale grid failure leads to massive delays in medical response, food distribution, and public safety. That's why serious preppers keep backup vehicles or plans. A bicycle is good. A gas-powered scooter with no electronic ignition is better. An old diesel truck with no electronic components is golden. If you're really prepared, you've got spare ignition parts stored in Faraday cages. In a post-EMP world, the most valuable engine won't have Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, and cup holders. It'll be the one that starts when you turn a key, even if it's loud, ugly, and leaks oil. If you had to leave right now with no warning, could you actually go anywhere? Or would you be trapped among dead cars in a city, turning into a pressure cooker? Don't try to get everything at once. Start with one item from this list. Maybe it's a water filter, maybe it's a set of hand tools, maybe it's just a good flashlight and some candles. Then build from there. Small steps add up fast. Because when that day comes, and it's not if, it's when, it won't be the strongest who survive. It'll be the prepared, the calm, the ones who saw it coming and got ready. So here's my question for you. Which of these 10 items do you already have? What would you add to the list? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I want to hear from the prepared minds in this community. And if this opened your eyes to something you hadn't considered before, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Because when the lights go out for good, we'll need every prepared person we can get. Stay sharp, stay ready, and remember, the best time to prepare was yesterday. The second best time is right now.